Okay, we are modeling a cat in 3ds Max. As you can see here, we've got 3 reference images on planes. I got those images from pixelsquid.com. That allows you to download different view references from their 3D models. They're watermarked, but that's fine. So there on the planes, the bottom plane you see I've rotated it slightly in order to line up, but otherwise they're pretty well lined up, and I've got my standard views rather than wireframes in each of the views. So we've got the, let's change this one to the right view. Okay, and we've got our perspective here. So let's get going. Now you should be familiar at this stage with the process that we're working with, where we have a basic editable poly box lined up at 0 on the XY axis. We have a symmetry modifier, which is going to give us a mirror image of it as we're working, and an open subdiv modifier on that to show us the smoothed version. And if you followed previous tutorials, you will have set up your Alt-S keyboard shortcut to be able to work at editable poly and see the output of the smoothed version as you go. So quickly, let's move along and start working on this. So we're going to start in the front view. I'm pressing Alt-X to go transparent and start positioning the various pieces around. So we're making the basic torso, and from that we'll extrude legs, head, tail, etc. So I'm going to go to edge mode. I'm going to connect up with 2 edges. I can adjust the spacing between them here and go OK. I'm going to go to 1 for vertex and start piecing the bits together. So we're using this hind leg and this front leg in our setup. So I want to create the geometry that will allow for that. So that's in my front view. If I go for my top view, I can see that I'm need to go in a bit tighter. This is a narrow bodied animal. If I go to my right view here, I've possibly gone a bit too tight, so let's just pull these out somewhat like that. We can refine it afterwards. And now these are not mathematically accurate lineups either, but they're enough for what we need to do. Okay, as I'm doing this, I can start adding more geometry in order to take out the shoulders and the hind legs. So I'm going to use hinge from edge for this. So select the hinge that we're going to use as that, and adjust the amount of rotation is fine. Let's do the same here. Hinge from edge, pick hinge, and go OK. We're going to be extruding the geometry down from there. So if I select the polygon that will form the front leg, let's just have a look at where this is going to come from. It needs to be able to rotate from around there, so let's line it up. And I'm going to also scale it on the y-axis so that I can extrude a bit more cleanly. If I press the spacebar, I lock that selection so that I can do some extruding in perspective view without accidentally deselecting it. So let's extrude downwards. In the front view, I'm going to go in and go to vertex, unlock the selection, and let's move to the first part of the leg, which is about here. Meanwhile, I'm going to just grab that underbelly vert and pull that down a little bit like that. I'm going to extrude the leg again, so 4 for polygons. Lock the selection, extrude down to the next joint. So again, it's move, scale and rotate. Okay, let's extrude once more. And once more. 1 for vertex, unlock the selection, and let's line things up. So when we have this lined up relatively okay in this view, we move to see how it looks in alternative views. Okay, so P for perspective, Alt X to switch off transparency, Alt S to give us some roundedness. So that's okay, but it's looking more like a bulldog than a cat. So in my right view, I need to rectify that. Let's take the inner chest area and feet, move them a bit more like that. And okay, this is getting us something a bit more cat-like. Let's pull down on the paws there, and I'm just going to pull in just a little bit like that. And with a bit more tweaking you can get it more and more cat-like. I'm going to pause this and move on to the next tutorial at this stage.